one of our students who's just doing A-levels in London. So she's 17. She has already attended workshops and days with a top law firm, with KPMG. She's done a 6-week internship with Morgan Stanley. They're not available to all international students. They are available to students in the... But for the international students, the critical point is to know and to understand. In your first term, you need to be sending off your applications for the Spring Insight Weeks in the spring of your second year.
Exactly.
But if you miss it,
then you're late by a year.
If a student is intellectually curious and wants to be challenged and wants to push themselves, then Rostrum is right for them, particularly for the...
Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to Rostrum Talks episode 4. Today here I'm joined with Gwyn, one of my best friends and one of my mentors from back in the day, and now he's the head mentor at Rostrum Education. He has more than 40 hours of one-on-one mentoring.
40 hours? You missed out the 40,000 hours.
Sorry, he's got more than 40,000 hours of one-on-one mentoring. He's the only Oxbridge expert who has the impeccable track record of placing multiple students, with more than 50% of students that are working with him getting into Oxbridge admissions. And recently we've also launched the career services with Gwyn, wherein we help students get into law, banking, consultancy, and the financial firms. And we help students across postgrad and undergrad with Gwyn. So welcome aboard, Gwyn. Great to have you on here.
You're really serious. Yeah, of course. And am I going to say no to you? Probably not.
Probably not.
All right. So yeah, I'm happy to be here because I know that the problems that students are facing with the careers packages and trying to get that transition from getting into a good university to getting a great job. We're seeing it as we're going around the different schools. We're seeing it as we're going around the universities, that there is still no widespread understanding of the processes that are required in order to get into MBB. So McKinsey, Bain, BCG from the consulting side, the bulge bracket banks, the Goldman, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, or the top law firms, the Magic Circle law firms in the UK, or the White Shoe law firms in the United States. The processes, it's something that, even this morning at a really good school with parents who are extremely well educated, they didn't know the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is one of the gaps that I'm seeing right now, that everyone is in the rush to get into good universities, which of course, because it's a competitive process, you have to start early, and we'll get more, we'll get some more information and advice from you on that. But I feel that, a lot of the students especially in India, I feel like they're always, under the pressure of cracking 10th grade first and then 12th grade. And then, then it becomes about getting into a good university and then getting good grades. And then it becomes about the job. So, but I feel, that is not the way, because we need to start.
Stephen Covey, the habits of successful people begin with the end in mind. Work your way backwards from there. What's the end goal? As the universities, they are not your end goal.
Correct.
Your end goal is to get yourself a job at a top company, or to become an entrepreneur, or to be successful in whatever way it is that you want, and that takes strategic planning. It's organic. You're going to change direction. Life happens, but you have the plan, and it's certainly under an understanding of your options, and your options involve getting into a top firm because you're already going to get into a top university with the right support, and you need to think. Because I will tell you, I was looking earlier at one of our students, to be honest, who's just doing A-levels in London. You know who I'm talking about. Obviously, we can't say, but doing A-levels in London. She's 17. She has already attended workshops and days with a top law firm, with KPMG. She's done a 6-week internship with Morgan Stanley. And another one with another extremely well-known name. And these things they're not available to all international students. They are available to to students in the UK. These pre-university programs. Some of them are pre-university programs for women, pre-university, etc. They're set up like that. But for the international students, the critical point is to know and to understand in your first term, when you arrive in the autumn, you need to be sending off your applications for the spring insight weeks in the spring of your second year. But that means that the summer, or at least a big chunk of the summer before you start university, needs to be dedicated getting your CV sorted,
cover letters,
and getting your understanding the financial markets, knowing what's going on. But I don't know what my career is going to be. That's the whole point, is that you're supposed to go out and do these spring insight days and sessions, because you get a taste of what those careers and those companies are like.
Exactly.
But if you miss it,
then you're late by a year, right?
It's the same with when we're taking Rostrum is taking one of a younger student at 14 or 15, and they don't know what they want to do at university yet. We have conversations with them. I give them a book to read. I give them a podcast to listen to, and they come back and they say, Gwyn, I hated that. And I go, great. But there was this one bit that I like. Oh, what was that? And then we pick up on that bit and we help them along. And they begin to get an understanding of which aspects of studies in various fields they like or don't like. And this is the same in for business, or the same for careers. As I said, this student in London has already done law. They've already done consulting. They've done law with a magic circle. They've done KPMG. They've done 2 banks. They've got a taste for it. And now they've decided the one that is most interesting is banking. But then banking is investment bank. It's a wide area, and you've got to. Are you somebody for whom mergers and acquisitions? But that would probably mean that you'd need to be somebody who's doing computer science, or somebody who's going to be doing engineering or maths. If you're going into that, well, actually, that's more sales and trading, to be honest. But also much more financially literate if you're going into
much more
mathematically
in the analytical
minded.
side, I feel, right? Yeah.
Compared to if you're doing wealth management or asset management.
Right. Got it.
But it's about you've got to have a go, and the things like these spring insights that give you an understanding of what the day-to-day work is. And on these spring insights, you're going to be talking to junior employees, but you'll also have some people from international, and you get to ask the questions that you want. But so many international students just, they're too busy on Freshers Week.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, I was one of those. I mean, I never realized that I have to look for a job or an internship ever. I mean, since I was...
Who was your careers coach?
I didn't have a careers coach. I did have you as my university coach, but I didn't have a careers coach. I didn't know you were doing career services then. But do you think out of all the students that you worked with at different levels, be it undergrad or be it postgrad or be it at careers services, that inquisitiveness is one of the key things that helps them be successful? That the eagerness or the seeking nature?
Curiosity married to holistic thinking. It's about understanding what is it? Curiosity, yes.
Right.
Whoever you are, whichever field you're going into, whichever careers field you're going to go into, you will be asked either on the robot interview or at a later stage in the interview process, you will be asked the question of, which business story is particularly interesting to you at the moment? Why? And what are the consequences of that? Somebody going for law at a law firm, they're going to be asked a commercial story. So what do you think and this is a real question within last couple of weeks. What do you think the impact of Israel's approach in Gaza is going to be for our commercial clients?
And that was a question.
That's right. That's in a law firm.
That's in a law firm.
That's in a law firm, because remember, the law firm clients are global corporations, and therefore the this is going to have tax implications. It's going to have logistics implications. It's going to have
Risk.
employment
There's
implications.
It's quite a bit of a risk calculation as well.
Well, it depends on your political perspective on this particular matter, but it's going to have consequences.
Fair. So, as I mentioned, that you're basically interested into law firms and banking.
No, banking, finance, et cetera. But yeah, consulting is a great route.
Consulting is great. Okay, cool. You said that anybody from any background can get into consulting. Is it the same for law as well?
Absolutely the same for law, as we have mentioned a few times to the shocked faces of parents. You do not need to have studied law to become a lawyer in the UK.
And why do you think is that? Like, why do
I think it's that?
So why do you?
I know.
So why is it that way?
Thank you. There you go. Okay. Why is that? Because it's about chemistry, not my thing. Some exceptions, but it's not really my thing. The idea that me being able to talk to let us say an oil and gas company, the intricacies of maybe I can a little bit, the intricacies of sweet and heavy oil and what the cracking process and the difficulties of Venezuelan oil, I can do it a little bit.
Right.
Chemistry student would know this inside out, and they'd be able to understand some of the technical or commercial aspects, and that is very impressive for somebody within a law firm. But all the chemistry student does is they do their 3 years undergrad. They do a law conversion course for 6 months, but they've also got to line up, if they've decided that they want to do law, whilst they're at university, they need to make that decision. This is part of the forward planning. They need to make that decision because they will need to apply for vacation schemes, internships, etc. And they'll need to understand the whole pathway of getting into law and getting what is known as a training contract. I'm sure we'll cover this on another talk, but the training contracts are what you need to be to actually qualify as a lawyer. But chemistry, history, whatever.
Anything works.
Yeah.
Diversity
more than 50% of UK lawyers.
I haven't studied law.
Did not study law.
Okay. The recommendation and the advice is, to summarize, is that do not get relaxed as soon as your grade 12 exams end.
Do you really want me to give the advice? Because the advice is to come and speak to me and come and speak to Rostrum, because I'm telling you, not many people in India are going to be telling you this. You need to know what you're going to be doing in the summer after your exams. Most people go, I'm going to chill. I've worked so hard. I'm going to go on holiday with my family, and then I'm going to Goa with my friends. All right? No. It's
fair.
Okay. Fair. But if you actually want to shape your thinking to begin to understand what you need to do, it's not just thinking about getting to university, as we have just said, and applying for your spring insights.
Right.
You need to be strategic in your networking in your first term at university, because you need to become a student representative or get on some first year committee to begin building your profile, so that in your second year at university, you can be president or vice president of a society or the events manager of a society. Because whichever career direction you're going to go in, you're up against, sure, everybody's smart, but you need to have done other stuff. And this particularly applies if you're at Oxford or Cambridge, but at every one of the top universities, you need to get active. You need to be showing that you can run or be a committee member of a society. Some of these societies have a 100,000, 200,000, 250,000 pound budget. Even more if you're at Oxford and Cambridge. These societies, they will talk about some of the societies, finance societies. The LSE, the London School of Economics Society, they put on the Alternatives Conference. And the number of people on the committees. There's more than 50 people on the whole range of committees, and you are leading one person or two people in different sections. That you are learning leadership. You're learning time management. You're learning delegation. You're learning all of these soft skills that you're going to be asked about at your job interviews, your internship interviews.
Right.
They will say, tell us about a time when you demonstrated creative problem solving.
Right.
Well, I had 300 students coming to an event, and 2 hours before the
lights went off.
2 hours before I'm not going to mention a particular firm. 2 hours before they said they couldn't come. So you've now got several hundred students who are expected to come. Your reputation is on the line. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to find a last-minute replacement. Will the students be disappointed? Well, it depends how you pitch it, how you frame it, how you say, this happened and, not but, this has happened and we have now got this person. It was only he or she only became available at the last minute. We knew that you would want this opportunity, so
boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Problem solving.
So what you're mentioning, what you're referring to is that all the resources that you would require, or most of the resources that you would require to end up getting a good job, are present in the university's systems or clubs.
The people in the year above you, or the people 2 years above you, they will have been for these interviews. They will have been on these internships.
Right.
They will understand the entire process at a visceral level, rather than at a step back intellectual level. It's not just that all interviews are stress. This is a stress interview at Goldman Sachs or at one of the law firms.
And which
stress interview is just where whatever you say, you're going to be wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you say is wrong, and and I will just disagree with you all the way through and identify the flaws in your argument, because as a wannabe lawyer or as a wannabe banker, I'm talking to you. The idea being not just to make you cry or shout. The idea of this is to see how you can maintain control whilst a client is getting upset
or agitated.
Yes.
Makes sense. Because I see it now, because the client might be just disagreeing with everything that you're saying, and then how you handle that is.
But you're also going to get situational judgment questions, and this is about empathy and stuff like that. So, for example, you go into your company canteen and you see a colleague looking upset. What do you do? And it's, should you intrude on their private space? What's the exact phrasing you're going to use? What's your body language going to be? Or you've got your uncle, your favorite uncle and aunt are come to town, and they're taking you out to dinner tonight. But as an intern, your boss has just said, we need you to stay because the deal is closing at 2:00 this morning, UK time. Do you stay?
Yes, you stay.
Of course you stay.
If you're at Goldman Sachs, he tells you to stay, you stay.
Yeah.
You have to stay, otherwise you won't see your tomorrow
But again,
morning.
there's a generational shift here. I mean, you're quite young.
I hope so.
Yeah, you are. All right. But there's a certain group that are saying, no, I
have to go home.
I have to go to the restaurant because my
working hours. It's beyond my working hours.
It's beyond my working hours, and this is a part of the genuine selection criteria. And but again, as part of the whole discussions we have with on the careers programs, it's saying, look, I'm not saying that staying beyond office hours or staying until 2 a.m. Is right. Personally, I did it and I will do it. But you have to decide your red lines. And if your red line is there, that you're going to go meet your aunt and uncle, then you should reconsider whether or not you're going to join banking.
Fair enough. I think it's each to its own, and everyone everyone is allowed to understand for themselves and find for themselves what's wrong and what's right for them, and what are the boundaries they could push. for themselves. And based on that, I think they would be able to at least, if not select, but eliminate a lot of the options or careers based on which then they can find out, okay, what are the options left,
And of course,
what
this is
can we
very
do?
different, whether it's going to be in the UK, whether it's going to be in Europe, whether it's going to be in the States. But again, it's Rumsfeld. You don't know what you don't know, and you need to get to the stage where you do know, and then you can make that choice. Maybe because for sure we are also facilitating and working with students whose end goal is to start their own company, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different angle, but the goal then is, and I've had it with several clients. Is to get to Series A funding.
Right.
So
and
from
including Y Combinator as well, right?
That's more than including Y Combinator, the most powerful accelerator in the world. The idea is that if they come and say, okay, I'm uncertain about my careers, but actually, to be honest, I'd like to start my own company. I've got a couple of friends. We've got an idea. Okay, right. Then I say, okay, have you got your pitch deck ready? They'll say, yeah, we've got a couple of things. I say, pitch deck. Let's go and I suggest you go and have a look at Sequoia on SlideShare, by the way, on SlideShare, their sample pitch deck. You don't need the full Sequoia pitch deck, but a slimmed down version of it. I need to identify, have you done have you got an MVP? Have you got your minimum viable product at the moment? Have you started beta testing? Your A/B testing? What have you actually done? What are your metrics? What are you using? Start asking hard questions like this in order to get them. It's not, I'm just going to start a company.
Yeah, it can't be that. You need to have a plan.
You got to have a framework.
Exactly.
Certainly if you want to get any external investors coming in.
Of course. Yeah.
But we can do that as well. We can help on that. But the careers framework, setting up, becoming an entrepreneur, all of these, you start with the end in mind. And then up until that invitation to interview, I would say it is the most important alongside your grades, but your grades are important for everything. The most important thing on your personal statement is the evidence of your subject-specific extracurriculars. What competitions have you taken part in? What books have you read? What podcasts have you listened to? What research papers have you written? And what have you learned
from it, which is
from
most
that
important.
particular process? How has your intellectual, academic thinking evolved? How have you read book A and then read the counterpoint in book B, which has a completely contrary opinion, and how have you synthesized those to come to what you think is the right approach on modern monetary theory or something?
So that's really helpful. Thank you for that.
But I'm a believer in competition, so and I primarily deal with the Oxford, Cambridge, and the top-ranked universities where it is primarily about intellect. Oxford and Cambridge would ideally be 2 A stars and an A or 3 A stars, but given that you only have 3 subjects, given that you have a very clear marking schema, it is very doable, especially for smart kids. For smart kids, whiz through this.
Right.
What do I think about the IB? But I think that A levels are far the quickest and easiest way to get in for smart students. What do I think about the IB? I think that the IB, because of its vast range of subjects that you have to do the 6 different subjects, because of the breadth of having to do an extended essay, plus an aspect of TOK, theory of knowledge, it acts as a pressure cooker. Okay, let me give you a comparison, since this is what you're after.
Right.
I started off in banking. I was a trader. That experience molded me and made me extremely resilient, because I was in the office maybe trading, or I was in the office extremely long hours.
I think you said 18 hours?
I was involved with banking because we used to then have to go out
with clients.
With clients, okay. But the experience where you've got people, different traders, different salespeople shouting at you these are back in the old days where I
Right.
had 2 phones to my ear all the time. I was buying and selling simultaneously, taking information from screens, taking information. Okay, that was the cauldron through which I emerged with resilience and the ability to multitask, make decisions quickly. That's what you get from the IB.
That's what you get from the IB.
It doesn't stop. It shapes you and changes your mentality, and it certainly develops resilience. And to be fair, that is something that is absolutely necessary at Oxford or Cambridge, because it's now the greatest breakthroughs in any given, not in any, in most given fields, will come from an understanding of the interdisciplinary nature of that topic. So a breakthrough in maths or computer programming might derive from the natural sciences, biological, natural sciences degree at Cambridge, natural sciences, biological, research on the migratory patterns of albatrosses.
Got it.
Do they actually? I'm not sure albatrosses actually migrate. They just keep on moving. Okay, pick any other swallow. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So IB is the most resilient way to get into the top universities in the UK.
No,
and
I'm
A-levels
not saying.
is the
I'm not saying that.
quickest?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. IB helps you to research. It helps you to think academically. But because you've got so many different topics, you don't go into as much depth as you do within the A levels.
Okay.
Which is why you need to do even more extracurricular reading and subject-specific extracurricular activities. The depth of the A levels, but they don't have the breadth.
Right.
That's why, again, the A level students also need to do extra reading and extra.
Got it.
It's 2 different approaches to the same problem.
Got it. But they both work, and they're both
But
pretty
they
competitive.
both work.
Right.
They both can create excellent thinking,
Skills for students,
high potential candidates. Sure, of course.
Got it.
But it's horses for courses.
Right.
Are you somebody who's better suited to breadth, or are you somebody who's better suited to depth?
Got it. Hey, I did IB. I mean, what do you think about me?
I certainly.
Just kidding.
What do I think? You did the IB, and I certainly think that you have the ability to multitask.
Yeah.
I certainly think that you have the ability to look at multiple viewpoints. Yeah.
Okay, IB shaped me in a way. I would like to say that. Last question.
The advice you gave all of the students.
I hope.
Your insights.
But what do you think are the 3 biggest mistakes that the students make while applying to universities?
Not starting their planning early enough.
How early should they start? Sorry.
When the students are precocious, when they're talented very early on, and you see that they're getting bored, then I would start. We do have people starting at 14 or 15.
Right.
For the majority of people, it would be in the summer before they're 16, the summer before they start
Into
year.
high school, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
That would be. Then you've got a year and a half to have some preliminary selection of pathways, and then to begin to shape the mind into the type of thinking that is required for that application.
Correct.
To do the profile building. So that would be then. So people not starting early enough, and it's equally true, as I said, of careers. It's like people getting to university, and now I'm going to start thinking about my career.
No,
Too
but
late. It
starts
starts in the summer before you go to university.
Fair, absolutely.
All right. Next mistake is not doing enough subject-specific stuff. believing, okay, if you make the choice that I'm at school, I want to contribute to my school, I enjoy sport, I want to do sport, I believe in my community, I want to help my community, I want to take part in this activity or that activity, that's absolutely fine. And but bear in mind that if that makes you feel good and makes you happy, who am I to say don't do it? If you think it's going to be useful for a university application, forget it.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
So it's being selective about what is going to have genuine impact upon your application at each stage of the process. So that. Thirdly, being realistic.
Not being realistic.
No, the biggest mistake, not being realistic. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. See, I've been here a while, my friend. Okay, so not being realistic, of believing that because you have achieved averagely within your school, you still have the potential to get to the top university. Doesn't work like that. If you haven't achieved well early on, it is incredibly difficult to get into the top universities. If you didn't do well in the boards 16 or the IGCSEs, if you've got 8 stars, you're an average Oxbridge candidate. If you've got 4 stars, A stars, you are not an Oxbridge candidate. Simples.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. But can I not improve? Is there not an arc that I can go through to? Nope.
But I have seen a lot of people get low A stars but perform really well in their IB.
Yeah, and have you seen them get into Oxford and Cambridge? No, you haven't, because at Rostrum, the absolute lowest that we got in was with 5 A stars, and that's because she listened to every single word that I said, did every single thing that I said, and she smashed it.
Yeah, she did.
Okay,
she did. Yeah, we know who we're talking about.
No, I'm not going to say who it was, but she did, and
she got it.
That was a huge win.
Yeah,
to get somebody in with 5 A stars was a massive win. Okay?
Got it.
That is not going to happen on a regular basis.
Got it.
Okay, cool. So probably that takes me to the 4th mistake.
There's a 4th mistake, which is?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Not coming to Rostrum.
Not coming to Rostrum.
Not coming to Rostrum. Not coming and asking for help and advice.
Yeah,
or at least
early,
coming and help and advice is one thing, but it's like this conversation that we just had now, the banter, but also the granularity, the specificity. This is what Rostrum offers, and this is what some students. If you're excited, go back to let's close the loop here. You started off with curious. If a student is intellectually curious and wants to be challenged and wants to push themselves, then Rostrum is right for them, particularly for the Oxford and Cambridge and medics.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. It was really insightful. I really appreciate the time, and hopefully we do some more podcasts down the line.
I believe there are going to be many more podcasts down the line.
Amazing. Thank you.